Welcome to this podcast for Brighton School of Business and Management students studying for the HND Level 5 courses. Section 1, this is really an overview of business processes. On bullet point 1, it's important here to make a distinction between processes or the systems and procedures in place within an organisation and the functions that an organisation needs to perform. Specifically, you're being asked for an evaluation of how these two considerations, processes and functions, are connected and how they might be influenced by each other and the ways in which good or bad processes or perhaps process management may influence an organisation's ability to achieve its goals and objectives. On bullet point 2, there are several methodologies you could choose for process mapping, so you need to justify why you think the one you've chosen is going to be effective in this context, and perhaps what particular aspects of this methodology you think are effective in providing a reliable evaluation of current processes. There is a useful guide to process mapping in the supplementary articles provided with this course, which you could use as your starting point. On bullet point 3, I would interpret this as being able, once you have completed the evaluation process, to assess whether the process in question is effective and identify where and how improvements in the process can be made to ensure they allow an organisation to achieve its business goals and objectives. Section 2. Here you're being asked to talk about how you would develop, implement and monitor operational plans for your own organisation or your own area of responsibility. This could be based on your own work role, or if you feel your current role perhaps does not allow you to adequately cover the points raised, you could define a different role and a different area of responsibility for yourself on which to base your assignment. Keep in mind that the assignment is asking you to explain how the plans have been developed, so it's important to explain why you have made the decisions you have made and why you think your approach is likely to be the most effective way to approach the task. The first 3 bullet points are about designing, developing and implementing an operational plan, and remember from the introduction this should be related to how effective business processes can improve effectiveness and efficiency. The final bullet point is looking at how you would ensure or incorporate into your plan mechanisms for monitoring and control. Although section 3 is really where you can explain in some detail how you might monitor business processes. This part of the assignment is making specific reference to quality standards, and of course this means quality across all aspects of the business. I think this reference here to culture is worth commenting on. Although this unit is concentrating on business processes as a way of managing business activities, you need to keep in mind that processes operate often under the influence of different aspects of corporate culture, so you might want to give some thought to the culture of the organisation on which you are basing your assignment and whether or not this culture is likely to help or to hinder business processes. The final bullet point is fairly self-explanatory. Just keep in mind that proposed changes are likely to affect people, and so managing expectations and effective people management in general is very likely to be an important consideration here. Section 4, which is looking at health and safety and perhaps how a business process approach to this subject can help achieve or improve results. I think here, probably more than anywhere else in this assignment, corporate or business culture is very relevant, so I think it would be well worth familiarising yourself with current thinking on safety culture within organisations. Bullet point 1 is asking you to carry out risk assessments. Keep in mind you need to look at the risk assessments you're required to carry out by law, but there are likely to be others which are more driven by organisational or by business processes. And it might be that you have identified workplace hazards that you don't think are adequately recognised or monitored at the moment, so you might want to conduct a risk assessment on an aspect of your business that hasn't been looked at before. The last 3 bullet points might seem broadly similar. I think the main differences are that bullet point 2 is asking you to show that mandatory regulations and relevant legislation is being applied correctly. Bullet point 3 is asking you to review your own internal policies and procedures and take a view on whether these are being applied correctly and effectively. And of course that means effectively from the company's and the employees' perspective. And of course remember, if you identify areas where you think improvements can be made, explain how you would make these improvements and why they will make things better, and use plenty of specific examples in your assignment to illustrate the points that you are making. And finally, if you need any further guidance or assistance with this assignment, please contact your tutor.